lot of time that you put into being Miss Decatur County.
Yes.
And it's a year of your life that you do it. So as you look at that and you look back, is there anything you would have changed over this last year?
I wish I would have gone to more, as crazy as that might sound, because, I'm one of those people where it's like, you never get this day back, you never get this year back, and originally it was, it's not going to go that fast. I remember as soon as I was crowned that night, I went and sat down in front of a calendar, and I started filling out important dates, and where I could be on this day, and what community event was happening in my free week before I went to college and stuff like that. And then as I started actually doing it, I was like, this is a lot of work, but still being able to push through that because of how busy I was in high school, I would have loved to go to more.
There's just always, our community is one that just wraps their arms around each other. So there's so many events that happen. And I know we get that here. We're like, we can only get to so many things before you do run out of steam at some point. When we talk about the amount of time and getting you ready, you can't do it alone.
No.
So tell us about your support system.
So my mom's definitely always been there for me. That poor woman has probably sat through a week off of her life in dress shopping between prom and Miss Decatur County, and then Kinsey running for Miss Tree City. There's been a lot of dresses in our house.
I bet so.
I haven't even narrowed down my pageant dress yet, but I have 5 currently hanging in my room.
We have choices.
Yes.
We have choices.
And she was very much, my mom was the person where if I was still kind of nervous maybe to send a message to somebody, or how do I say this, or how do I send this email back, she'd be like, I know them from working at the hospital, I'll send them a message. So finding cars for parade and stuff, she was always there to help me with that. And then, my dad, I also talked about this in my farewell speech. So the first day of the fair last year was my dad's birthday.
Oh, okay.
I was a little late to a hair appointment, overslept, was, not used to the fair time adjust on what time my hair appointment's adjusted. Backed out in my Jeep and hit my dad's car.
Okay, on his birthday.
On his birthday. I went in, that's his baby. So I went in freaking out, crying. I was like, I'm late, but I need you to move your car, but I just hit it, and I'm so sorry. And he was like, breathe, Bailey. You have to breathe. And I think if he didn't take that minute with me and be like, screw your head back on.
Get it together.
Take a drink, take a breath. Patty's not going to be mad that you're 5 minutes late. You'll be okay. I think I would have just felt like a chicken with my head cut off probably the rest of that day, and that would have gone into every fair day. So that was very, very helpful. And then my dad, throughout my year of reign, anytime I was like, hey, can I take your car somewhere? He'd be like, yeah, I don't care. And I ended up taking his car to Miss Indiana State Fair pageant, and then he had my car and hit a deer in it. So
oh my, it's been quite a year.
It's been quite a vehicle year itself.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens. Speaking of hair, Patty has been there to fix you up.
Oh, very. I have very thick and long hair, so it was very trial and error. My first day, we were like, a cute little, loose, formal bun. I think I made it 3 hours, and it was falling out, and we were like, we got to go back to square one. We got to figure this out. And I did gymnastics my whole life. It was 2 French braids into a pretty bun. That's all I had ever done. And she was like, well, let's try it. She got me out of my comfort zone.
And this is Patty Stevens,
yes, right? I absolutely adore her. She's one of the sweetest people in Decatur County I've ever met. And, I've got these dragonfly braids in and everything, and I always got compliments on my hair, and I loved being able to just sit in her chair and chill for an hour before the day got started.
She just kind of takes care of you.
Yes. Yeah. I adore that woman. She's so sweet.
Grandpa?
Yes.
In the parades with you?
Yes. He's always in the front seat with my mom.
So Don't you love that?
I love it. And everybody always loves his hats and stuff because he's protected from the sun. They're like,
yes.
Who is that? I'm like, that's my grandpa.
You wouldn't want it any other way,
yes,
would you?
and he's very much the reason I have a lot of parade pictures, and it is so helpful to look back on when I go to make an Instagram or a Facebook post or social media something. I'm like, I really wish I had and then I'll text him hey, do you have any pictures from this day? I'll get a file of 20 pictures.
He took care of
it. I'm
like,
all right, thanks, Gramps.
He's got it.
Yes.
You have a sister.
Yes.
So she's been kind of there for the ride.
Yes.
But she also ran for Miss Tree City, right?
She did, yes.
Yeah. So it's been a pageantry year.
Yes, and I don't think my parents when they, knew they were going to raise girls, we're going to raise the pageant type of girls. So this year has been a lot of learning on every corner of our house.
Anybody else that's just kind of been there along for the ride and supported you throughout this?
My coach, my high school coach, Caitlin Holloway and David, I sent her a text and I was like, I don't know who my sponsor should be. Like, maybe I'll ask her, but, I don't. And she was just like, gladly, I'll be your sponsor. Why wouldn't I be your sponsor? Or throughout the year, she'll be like, hey, can you coach on this day and this day? Somebody called out sick. I'm like, I really, really wish I could, but I have an event. And she's always been like, you know what? That takes first priority. You should go do that. Go be a kid. Go have fun. So she's always been there. Or like my little, I don't know what dress I want to wear, but she's like, let me see them. Let me see them. Let me take a second look.
Or a little guidance, right?
Yes. She's always kind of been there. And then I just got done coaching a fun camp at the gym last week, and it was being able to take a breath and be back in my natural habitat of the gym too. And she was like, well, what do you have coming up? And I'd be like, oh, I have the pageant, and I don't know if I want to do this cookie or this cookie. And she's like, oh, do this one. She's very helpful.
Very good. It takes a whole team.
It does.
We always say that here too. Like, it takes our families at home for us to be able to do these things. So we're moving it Friday night. It's a big pageant night, Greensburg High School Auditorium.
Yes.
We've got 7 contestants. Can you tell us who they are?
We have Cecilia Barber, Madison Ponsler, Addie Gauk, Kylie Best, Hannah Gridley, and I'm missing one. I have it on a list.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I got my list somewhere. In the pageant, we always love, we'll have that live here on WTRE. You can listen. You can also watch that on YouTube so that you can see.
Oh, Kaylee Smith.
Kaylee Smith. Yes. That's right. Kaylee Smith.
Because she will be handing down her 4-H queen role, too.
That's right. Yes. It's so crazy when you start looking at as the queens go out and who they go to, and it's crazy.
There's always familiar faces that you're very glad to see that they decided to run.
So girls are running. Kind of take us what the pageant's going to be like this year.
So our pageant, it starts with like a private, we call it a mother-daughter tea. It's basically where we have judges come in and the girls are judged on their professional or their interview wear. And then they get a one-on-one interview with a judge. And while you're not doing your interview, you kind of get to sit and chit-chat with, like, a woman role model in your life. So, like, your mom, your aunt, your grandma, or somebody. And you kind of get to, like, have the calm before the storm type of thing.
It's a moment to get it together.
You're sitting down, you're talking with, the female role model. And then some other contestants kind of just while you wait for your interview or your interview got done. And we have that at the branch, and they graciously sponsor that for us. And then at 6:30 is when doors open for our pageant at the high school, and then 7 o'clock is when the show starts. And the girls do their formal wear where they're judged on that. And then I decided to keep their outfit of choice just because I like doing that. It kind of shows a little more outside of the box.
It's your personality, right?
Yes.
You can bring it out that way.
So, if like one of the girls, she's studying journalism, so she might wear a news broadcaster outfit, or, you grew up on a farm and, your dad's or your mom or whoever, like, did the primary farming, they did everything for you, and so maybe you want to showcase that somehow, or what you want to do later in life. Like mine was, I wore my senior year competition Leo with some of my state medals because, that really helped form who I was in my life. So we kept that definitely because that was one of my favorite.
I love that.
Yes.
I feel like that really gives us, as a spectator, the opportunity to learn who somebody is.
It's not just, they were told they need to wear professional wear clothes or a formal gown. It's, you have free reign here. What do you want to do with it? And I love that, being able to kind of show off your personality a little bit as they get to know kind of who you are at the
first look. And that opens the pageant?
Yes.
Their choice?
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes. And then we've got our formal wear and our onstage word, which we just practiced quite a bit at our last meeting.
Okay.
And they're definitely nervous, but I remember how nervous I was about that. But it's the least amount of points, and I tell them, if you mess up, we're all human. I've talked before, and I forget where I was going with the points. So
we get lost.
Yes,
we're talking,
it just happens.
And but they choose it out of a bowl,
yes.
right?
So we have our list of words, and coming up with our practice words were a little difficult.
Sure.
Because we don't want to give them quite the practice like that, but just kind of in the realm of the words. And it's, what if I don't know what the word is? I'm like, you're going to know what the word is. Like, take a breath. You'll be okay. You know, if you kind of forget where you're going, thank you. Hand off the mic. And then that's it. That's all you got to do.
That's right. You were talking about the personal choice.
Yes.
You know what you want. Do you remember the year? It'd been Olivia Vanderburg is the one that, do you remember her bringing a pig out on stage?
I do not, because I was not there for that one, but I have heard about it.
Yeah,
yes.
That one always sticks out in my mind because it was just a classic. It was a classic Livy anyway, but it was just a great.
I've told him, I'm like, you know, because Chris Fogel's come in to kind of practice emceeing with us a few times, and one of our contestants, who I think may get Miss Congeniality, so I can't say quite who, but she was like, you know, what if I want sound effects or like an intro? And he was like, I've done that before. If you want it, just let me know.
Yeah.
And she was like, I might actually. I'm like, if you want to think outside the box or do something you might think is crazy, do it.
You do you,
yes,
right?
Yes, exactly. It just shows who you are as a person. And, you know, you're very fun and going.
Now, you will be giving your last speech,
I will.
Your farewell. How's that been writing that?
It's hard to put everything that I want into, you know, the thank you, goodbye speech, because I don't want to stand up there for 10 minutes. I'm sure nobody wants to listen to me talk for 10 minutes, but it was going through the pictures for my slideshow and everything. It was like, I really don't feel like I did a ton. And then I'm going back through and I have a file of like 500 pictures.
Like, it was a lot more than you think.
I forgot I went to that, or I forgot that happened and stuff like that. So
very good. Well, we're excited. You've had a great year. Beyond being Miss Decatur County, you go to Purdue. Tell us about what's your future look like?
So I'm currently studying kinesiology at Purdue West Lafayette, and I'm hoping to be done in about a year and a half, and I want to go into sports management. That's kind of a passion that kind of came out of left field. I always thought I wanted to go be a PT, and Purdue actually just announced that they're going to be doing a sports management graduate program, so I'm hoping to get into that.
Very good. What's the rest of your summer look like?
I have almost nothing for July, and I think it's the first time in my life
You're
I
gonna
don't
breathe,
have something
right?
planned. Yes.
Yeah, maybe take a vacation.
Yes, we're hoping for Michigan towards the end of July because Kinsey, my younger sister, is working in the extension office the entire fair week. So, I mean, it'll be fun for her, but I'm going to be like, you know, if you ask me to bring you food, I'm only going to do it every so often.
That's right.
You only brought me food every so often.
That's right. Payback, right?
Yes.
It is payback. You guys will both be going to Purdue in the fall, though.
Yes.
Living together again.
Mm-hmm.
So, good times, right?
Yes.
As you have, because you kind of decorate and do all the stuff for the pageant, did you choose a theme or anything special you're doing?
Yes, I did. So I feel like I'm a kind of indecisive person. So, you know, my theme was due like 2 or 3 weeks ago so they could run it by the fair board and everything. And, you know, I'll be getting ready at night. I'm like, oh, Queen Bee, that would have been a cute theme because everybody calls me Bee. And I'm like, well, too late for that because the pageant's in 2 days. But so I chose Under the Stars just because, like, I always love taking like Jeep rides at night in Decatur County and just kind of like looking up or like just kind of parking in the middle of nowhere. Being like, the world is huge. There's so many opportunities, so many directions you can go in life. So it's kind of like this might be the start of your community engagement. And maybe you decide that as Miss Decatur County, you loved that so much. Maybe that's what you want to do as your profession. Or maybe it's not for you and then you can go a different way. But like the way it's not totally a written path, kind of like how the stars kind of change and they align. So yes.
You never know where your path's going to take.
Exactly.
Because your path has not been what anyone expected, right?
No, not at all.
But you've still come out on the other side.
Yes. Never
you changed colleges.
Yes. Never thought I would go to college in Indiana at all. Like, you know, the Lilly Scholarship, I think I was one of like 4 kids that didn't write it my senior year. And I was like, well, there's no point. Like, I'm not going to college in Indiana. And then afterwards I was like, well, dang, probably should have wrote that.
You know, we live and learn, right?
Yes.
Well, it's been a great year. We've enjoyed having you. It's been a fun time. I know it's bittersweet.
It very much
to
is.
hand the crown over. Are you excited to take the picture, though, at the end of the night when you get to crown the new one and then everybody lines up?
Yes. I'm also excited that I'm not the front of the line because as soon as you start to squat down, they whisper kind of in your ear and they're like, your thighs are going to burn here in a minute, but don't move so we can go fast. And I was like, you know, I was a gymnast. I work out. I'll be fine. But you're in heels and then it's like, okay, this kind of hurts. Oh, they're kind of burning, and my quads are on fire. And then you're just kind of like smiling through the pain. You're like, let's finish this. But looking back, it's one of my favorite pictures.
I love that picture every year. Yeah. I know I don't want you to give your farewell speech today, obviously. We're going to save that for Friday. But anything you want to say to the community before we wrap up today?
Thank you for allowing me to be Miss Decatur County. And, you know, everybody who I've met this past year, everybody's been great. And I really got to see another side of Decatur County, like, growing up here that, like, I might not have seen in doing anything else. So
it's been a good year.
It's been a very good year.
All right, Friday night. Doors open at?
6:30.
Starts at?
7.
All right. WTRE will be there. We will be presenting our Best Sanders Scholarship. We do that every year. So been reading those essays as they come in.
Yes.
They make it hard. These girls are good.
Mm-hmm.
These are very good girls.
I know. I've kind of got to hear a little bit about what the girls that are turning them in have kind of wrote about, and I'm like, oh, that's good.
You know, every year it's hard to, I try to find something different to have them write about,
Yes.
and it gets challenging. And I don't, this year they're writing about their hometown heroes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want the famous person. I want.
Yes, I always love that because, you know, doing scholarship essays and everything like that, it's like, it's always the like, tell me about yourself. What did you do with your life? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but this doesn't showcase maybe who I looked up to or how did I become who I am. So I always love WTRE's like themes and stuff with this because it's like something that you shouldn't have to put a ton of thought into. It should just kind of come to
out.
you.
That's exactly my point.
Exactly on the computer, or if you're writing it, like it just kind of floods out.
It's a normal thing that you should just have it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're excited. We honor Beth every year with that, and we will continue to do that. So we'll be there Friday night to present that, but we'll also be broadcasting. So if you can't make it out, you can watch it on YouTube, so you can see all the dresses.
Which we've been watching back all the YouTube ones. So it's like, wait, are the girls supposed to come on the left or the right?
And then we're like,
WTRE.
Pull it up. And we're always, my mom's always very interested in because some year formal dresses are long. Some years they've been short. Some years they've been the multi-length, you know. Yeah. So she's always like, I wonder what it's going to be this year. I'm like, I don't know.
Yes.
Up do's, down do's, they're all around. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We will wrap it up. We will see you on Friday night. Excited to see what happens. Is there a cost to get in or just
$5 at the door?
$5 at the door. All right. Greensburg High School Auditorium, 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Bailey Ebbing did a great job as Miss Decatur County. Thank you. It's 11:35 on Tree Country, 1330.